Alright, thank you very much. Hello everybody, it's your good friend Possible here, and I am here with my anime review of a certain show that I am not happy about. I got really excited recently because Hulu has done me a solid. They put Gatchaman, which is the original version of Battle of the Planets, on their streaming. So now I can catch up on all the Gatchaman, which has like 105 episodes. And then I got caught with this. Gatchaman Crowds, or Crowds Gatchaman. It's actually Gatchaman Crowds. This is like supposed to be a different version slash reboot slash remake slash reimagining slash sucks version of Gatchaman. They took a very cool concept and made it useless, which is the word I would use to describe this show. Also, lame. The show is very, very lame. It's just insane. I was very intrigued at first because I wanted to understand the connection between this show, Gatchaman Crowds, and the original Gatchaman. There are several things that give you those hints. For example, a guy makes some birds, he flies up the birds, they go into the little flying symbol that the Gatchaman always went into. There's a character named Joe here. Joe is very serious, very, kind of hardcore, but, he's also avoiding his responsibilities, so irresponsible as well. And so you got a lot of connections between this Gatchaman and the other Gatchamans, all in hints, and that's all it is. These are just homages. These are not actual connections, except for that one time Joe says that, we are nothing like the Gatchaman of old. To paraphrase what he says, he even says we're a lame bunch compared to this Gatchaman. This Gatchaman is the Gatchaman, where they're badass, kick-ass. They know how to go in and deal with the situation. The guy on the far right, that's Joe from this Gatchaman. Again, he was the troubled youth more so than the other orphans were. And he at least had a point. They at least all had a point. These guys had no point. If you can believe this, the one way they connect with each other is via notebooks. And that's what you see in most of their hands. Literally pen-written notebooks that get written on magically when someone's trying to connect with you. You take out your notebook, you say your bird go, and you change into the Gatchaman, which is this huge armored beast, full of color and just humongous. But because they have something called amnesia effect, they can actually make people not see them. So they can do whatever they want and people won't know. It starts off in the beginning with this kind of alien monster that's kidnapping people called Messes. And they call it Messy, and then they were able to friend the Mess, and then the Mess disappeared for the remainder of the show until they came back at the very end. The worst part of the show is right in front of you. It's right in the middle of the screen. It's the main character, Hajime. Hajime is just incredibly annoying and incredibly stupid. She does what she does not out of any rebellion, not out of any sense of duty or right or versus wrong. She does it out of a sense of aloofness. She is totally oblivious to what's happening in the world around her. She is completely stupid and has no clue as to what's really going on in this world. During this phase, though, a lot of people all of a sudden just seem to like her for no reason whatsoever. It's just they're trying to justify who she is and why she does what she does. She does it for no good reason. It's just her stupidity. That's the only reason she does anything. She's completely out of touch with reality. And maybe people see that as a good sign. We're supposed to get a sense that this is a better way or something. I don't know. The worst part also is in the upper right-hand corner, wearing the black and red scarf, is JJ, their leader slash prophecy guy who sits and spouts a whole bunch of babble, which means nothing. And in the end, in the last like 6 episodes, he literally says nothing. People go to him, they talk to him, but he doesn't respond or anything. And a lot of what he says gives, again, that indication that there's going to be a connection between this and the other Gatchaman. He keeps referring to the white bird. That was Ken the Eagle. And I kept expecting them to finally explain who was who. Like Joe was Joe. Who was Ken? Who was Princess? You know, what connection did they have to these past people? There was no connection. They were just all annoying and all useless. There was even these moments when these bad guys show up and start breaking apart the Prime Minister building. And everyone's panicking, but nobody does anything except for Hajime, who is just aloof and just walking around all happy, singing gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. And then they go after the Ministry of Defense. You know, they're attacking people. They're destroying buildings. But these guys are still doing nothing. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's part of this whole, you know, you got to do the right thing even if no one tells you to do it. You know, the panda guy, he starts to take them on this great battle, and then he just drops them off and leaves because he can't face it. You know, there is a connection between the guy in the purple, the little panda, and the guy on top. The guy on top is the only real connection besides Joe. That's the bad guy, and it has the same name as the original bad guy did. And there's, you know, as you can tell, there's a lot I can complain about when it comes to this movie. The other part was they had this amazing idea of this app that gets created, and that when people connect with this app, you can use the app to get people to bond together and help it. So it's a big connection. It's a big social media app, and the guy who creates it feels like, okay, let's play this game. Okay, where like it turns out somebody got hurt, someone's choking, and you know they broke their ribs. So you can ask for any medical assistance, and people who are on this map called Galax, and I was hoping that'd be a connection with Galactor, but I guess not. Galax was supposed to bring these people in, so people were starting to rely very heavily on this app. And the crowds, what crowds are, is extraordinarily stupid. Crowds are like this magical, technical manifestation of a person. They all have these little bodies, but they have these huge heads, which look like computer screens that can turn into big mouths. At first, they're used to help, then they're used to hurt. Now everyone has one. Crimes are happening, but you know what? Nobody wants to make a decision anymore because now this computer has completely taken over. And we're supposed to believe this is a good thing. The computer hasn't taken over per se, it's just whatever the people say. You know, and now this Prime Minister doesn't do anything he thinks is right or wrong. He does whatever the people think based on the vote at the time. And so it was just didn't connect. They had some good points here. They had some good ideas, but they had an annoying lead character, an annoying bad guy, horrible writing, horrible acting. They accomplished in 12 episodes what any other group would have accomplished in 5 if they didn't take so much time away doing stupid stuff and adding things that just didn't matter and just shouldn't have been there. JJ, their little guy there, shouldn't have been there at all. He was useless. You know, they should have given us more depth into these characters to see who they were and what their motivations were. Because the main bad guy is nothing new. Apparently he was a Gatchaman before, but we don't know much about it. The 2 aliens, the guy in the purple and the panda, know him, fear him, because they know how powerful he is, but they're powerful too, and they're afraid to face him. And the ending was completely useless. And that's how you can explain Gatchaman crowds. It's completely useless. And I really hated it, if you couldn't tell already. I hated this show. So it gets a pass. Gets a must pass. Avoid it at all costs. If you love Gatchaman, do not watch Gatchaman Pass. You will just be angry. You'll just be disappointed. It's a shame that something that came out in 1973 trumps something that came out 40 years later to this day. You know, you should have just remade Gatchaman, brought back maybe the original character or a new group into the same setting, and given them some action, given them some purpose, given them something that doesn't make us sound like we're wasting our time with a bunch of morons. Everyone in that group was stupid. I just couldn't stand them, and you know, I just felt the ending was the worst I've ever seen. Well, that's it for me today. Oh, I feel so much better now that I've ranted and raved on that show. Do yourself a favor. Don't watch it. Watch the original Gotcha Man. And we'll see you at the theaters.